Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I'm here to share a few of my quick thoughts on the newly released story trailer for Resident Evil 2, which was released by Capcom at this year's Tokyo Game Show, which is currently going on at the time of this recording. And I gotta say, I am absolutely impressed with everything I have seen. Since this game was announced back at E3, this honestly had the potential of, if not be, my single most anticipated game of 2019 coming out next year. And it's even more shocking that this comes out at the beginning of the year. Now, as the story trailer is going on, we are pretty much given a good idea of what we can expect. There's certainly things that are shown to us that will be familiar to those who've actually played the original game, but there's absolutely enough shown here that shows you that this story is going to be slightly different. So even if you are familiar with the original story, it is going to be well worth to play this new game to see what new directions, what changes they add to this new interpretation of Resident Evil 2. Now, in terms of the looks of the characters, because we have been shown more of what they look like, I've heard some people kind of complain about Claire's look, and the only thing that I can say I wish they had changed is that they had actually made her a definitive redhead, because she looks more like a brunette. And that, that's not such a horrible thing. It's just, that was like always one of the big things that made her stand out, at least to me. But her overall look does look fine to me. It looks like Sherry is gonna play a much bigger role. It seems that the character of William Birkin, infected by the G virus, that's gonna play a much bigger role. In terms of things with Leon, I think Leon looks great. I think his voice, I think everything about Leon is absolutely fantastic. He has been my favorite Resident Evil character since Resident Evil 4, which was the first game I ever played in this series. And when it comes to Ada, because we finally got to see what Ada looked like in this game, I have heard some people say that she looks a bit funny, and I gotta admit, I'm not quite feeling that Inspector Gadget raincoat she's wearing, but I don't know, I'm sure at some point she's gonna lose it, and maybe we'll see her wear something red, because that's kind of one of the quintessential aspects of her overall design. She's always wearing red in some form. I think the gameplay that we've seen so far from this looks absolutely incredible. It looks like this is even going to be much more horror-based than I would say Resident Evil 4 ever was, because I know that some people complained when it came to Resident Evil 6 and 5 that they were too much action-focused, and when it came to 7, the big thing for me that I really didn't like was that it was a first-person shooter, despite the fact that it was horror, and some people thought Resident Evil was back. But with this looks like it is absolutely going to be a true survival horror title, more so than Resident Evil 4 ever was with the over-the-shoulder gameplay style, because that's personally how I would prefer to play Resident Evil games, because I know that there are some old school fans that prefer the locked camera and tank controls, but it was really because of those terrible camera angles and terrible preemptively created terrible controls that just made Resident Evils 1, 2, and 3 completely unplayable. And even back then, I knew that Resident Evil 2 was a really, really special game. The controls just prevented me from ever enjoying it the way I wanted to. So I'm absolutely happy that Capcom has listened to the fans. I've absolutely loved everything I have seen from this trailer. I really don't know what more I can say. I do have a few concerns, but they're just very, very small, just in terms of certain gameplay mechanics, because there's definitely been some changes that they have confirmed, but I don't think there's anything I've seen that gives me the thought that this is going to be a disappointing game. I think that Capcom really wants to knock this out of the park. They've got 2 major hits coming out next year, this being one of them, and all I can say is if this game is everything that I think it can be, it not only has a chance of dethroning my all-time favorite Resident Evil game of all time, which has been Resident Evil 4, but it could take the title of becoming my new favorite survival horror game of all time. But heck, that's a very, very high expectations that I'm putting it, but from what I've seen, it absolutely has the potential to pull it off. So those are just my quick thoughts on the trailer. If you've seen this, share your thoughts with me and everyone else in the comments down below. Share me what are some things you really liked and some things you might be concerned about. And if you guys have any more requests for any other videos you would like me to see me do, or trailers you'd like me to review, or just topic videos in general, please share those ideas with me also in the comments down below. And if I happen to pull them up, I'll give you a shout out. And with that said, if you could please press one of the links in the description down below to follow me on Twitter and friend me on Facebook, that would be awesome. And I will see you next time.